Hi. For today's show, I went looking for a great go-to-market strategy example, and I found three. But three is not good enough, so I'm going to give you two of our own from Math Marketing to give you a total of 5 go-to-market strategy examples. A go-to-market plan needs to articulate the solution that's on offer, its price, what's unique about that solution, how you'll position that difference, who you'll target, the channels you will use to reach the market, and the tactics that you'll use to take that offer to that market through that channel. As I've been doing recently, I went looking for 5 sources of a great go-to-market strategy example. I've got those 5. I want to show them to you now, synthesize them, and then draw my own conclusion about what's needed. But truth, I actually only found 3 good ones, so I'm going to then at the end, after I've given you the conclusions of what I think needs to be in a go-to-market strategy example, go-to-market strategy I should say, I'll give you 2 more go-to-market strategy examples. Okay, well the first article that we came across is from Business Victoria. That's a state government inside Australia. They offer lots of tips. Frankly, it's so basic, I think you need to avoid it. Let me just explain why that. This talks about not the 4 Ps, but the 7 Ps. And look, I just hate acronyms that dumb down the language. They force you to describe something intelligent and useful and use baby talk, and I hate it. Also, specifically, the original 4 Ps and their extended, 7 Ps and the silent Q, whatever language you end up adopting, they confuse strategy and tactics. In fact, the author on this occasion has explicitly confused strategy and tactics because he or she says the tactical elements are used to carry out the strategy. Really? These are not tactics, these are strategy elements. So, just horrible, avoid it, skip. Next one is from the Cult Branding Company, love the name, and my take on this. They give an example from Southwest Airlines, which is great. It's a too often used example, but at least they give us a go-to-market strategy example. But frankly, this article looks like it's been written for SEO and not for humans. I mean, how many times can you say go-to-market strategy in a heading or G2M in a heading? It smacks of a fairly transparent activity in trying to create traffic rather than offer value. Now, again, I love that Southwest Airlines have been used, but if we look at the actual example of Southwestern Airlines, really, it's actually not about the go-to-market. It's certainly about their business model and about their unique offering, but none of how they actually took that to market or who the market was. So again, not a great example. Go to Forbes, often a good site for such articles. Now, good list of headings for a marketing plan. Let me scroll towards the bottom of this. It is potentially worth a read. Good list of headings for the elements that you need to include in your go-to-market strategy. But today, we're looking for a go-to-market strategy example, not a template. Now, in fairness, this article never set out to be an example. It is set out to be what it is. It's a template. So they've done what they promised, but not what we're looking for on this day. So not going to recommend that you spend too much time on that one. Next example. This is from Cron. Not sure quite how to... Oh, Cron, for Chronicle. Okay, Cron. Thanks, guys, for this one. Small business, love it. Okay. They talk about examples of strategies. Guerrilla marketing, positioning, cause marketing. Hang on. Cause marketing, sports marketing. They're not strategies. They're, if you like, use cases. You are a sports company or you are a cause. They're not strategies. So, with the greatest of respect, I think that's a terrible article. It doesn't offer what they promised, and it doesn't offer what we needed. Now, what I've normally done, I have to set this up a little bit because I'm about to show you one of my own articles and it seems a little bit self-serving. But what we do when we're looking for these articles to research for each show is we find the 4 highest ranking articles on the expression that we're looking for, even if they're great or terrible. And unsurprisingly, Forbes often rates in the mix somewhere. Marketing Profs is often in there as well. They're also a great source. But then we look for the article that was most shared according to BuzzSumo, and that was one of mine. So I mentioned that not just so I can show you a photo of me with my eyes closed or to boast, but just to fess up a little bit that we didn't just put this one in here for self-serving reasons. It was actually the most shared of all the articles according to BuzzSumo on the topic that we're looking for. And in fact, it gives us what we want. Just as the title suggests, go-to-market strategy examples, and there are 3. And the 3 examples are Apple, looking at their early market strategy, SAP looking at their extension strategy, so they were the gorilla in a mature market, how do they extend it? And the third example is Ingress in a mature market where they were not the gorilla and they had to exit with dignity, and they did. And so there are 3 great go-to-market strategy examples in there. I'll include the link to this article in the show notes. You can check it out if you want. I drew in that article from the work of Geoffrey Moore, of whom I am #1 fanboy. Use Geoffrey Moore's work. I use Geoffrey Moore's work always to understand what the general strategy should be for a market, and did for this particular show. Now, certainly there are 3 examples there, and that is what I wanted to find for today's show. As I'm about to argue in a moment, though, I think I can do you a greater service by giving you a couple more articles, a couple more go-to-market strategy examples, which I'll do shortly. Well, I'll give you my own spin on those 5 articles shortly, but first let me honour those 5 authors. I know it's kind of silly because I was one of them, but you get the point. I want to respect the content that was presented, then I'll argue what I think a go-to-market strategy should contain. Let's now first honour what they said. A good go-to-market strategy details the solution that's on offer, its price, what's unique about it, who you'll target, and the channels that you'll use to reach each of those markets. Personally, I think it needs a lot more than that. For one, we need to take it to tactics as well. Otherwise, it's big on market and very short on go-to. If a go-to-market strategy is supposed to be about how you'll take a product to market, you need to explain the tactics that you use to reach that market. So I'd certainly argue you need about tactics. The other thing missing from that is I'm very big on understanding the problem that your market has, which will lead them to buying from you or buying at all. So what problem are you trying to solve? And from that, who has it? And from that, how do you fully solve it? So if you like, turning the strategy inside out, making it buyer-centric, and in particular, by understanding what problem they have that you can solve uncommonly well. So there's 2 big shifts that I'd like to see. But even if we make both of those shifts, that's re-arguing what's in a go-to-market strategy. And today's show is supposed to be about go-to-market strategy example or examples. So I've given you 3, and they were from Geoffrey Moore's work. Quite fond, as you know, of his work and the way he argues it. So I'm going to give you another 2 examples of a go-to-market strategy. And they're both from math marketing. One of them successful, one of them yet to be launched, so we don't know whether it's going to be successful. But I think they're both worth understanding to really understand go-to-market strategy. Let's first clarify slightly what we need to have in the go-to-market strategy, example or not. Firstly, the problem that you're solving for the market. Then the solution that you're going to offer to solve that problem, its price, what's unique about it and how you'll position that difference, who you'll target, the channels that you use to reach that market, and the tactics that you'll use to take that offer to market. So on that basis, let me share with you not 1, but 2 go-to-market strategy examples. The first one is funnel camp to enterprise. The problem we're solving is sales and marketing engine is underperforming. And what we offered to solve that problem was a 3-day go-to-market planning workshop for B2B businesses. To whom we sold that were sales and marketing leaders or their CEO, particularly in companies, let's say under $100 million in revenue, in B2B enterprises globally, through whom a network of 70 accredited consultants. Tactics, broad positioning support from headquarters, that's us, and individual go-to-market plans from each consultant. Now, I hinted earlier that one of these examples was not successful, and I would say that that particular go-to-market strategy wasn't. Why? Go back to what I said about Geoffrey Moore, where he taught us that in the early market, you probably need to be going directly. Truth is, for go-to-market planning, that is still a relatively early market. And at Math Marketing, we had no problem selling funnel camps. We sold, well, I was going to say dozens of them, but the answer is actually about 400 or 500 of them. So the market's there, the product's there, fantastic, but not through a channel. We were spectacularly unsuccessful selling through a channel. So let me give you another example of our next product that we think respects where the market's at a little bit better. Funnel Plan, which to explain, Funnel Plan is the tool that we use in a funnel camp, but it's not a funnel camp. Funnel Camp's a workshop, Funnel Plan is a tool we use in the workshop. Funnel Plan to the DIY market. Problem is the same, sales and marketing engines underperforming. What are we offering to solve that problem? A self-serve go-to-market planning and optimization, and I'll come back to the optimization piece, platform for B2B. Also though, we're going to build an early adopter group from our network and learn everything that we can about what they think of that problem and what they think needs to be in the solution that's not already. So we have a solution in mind, clearly, but we're going to tweak it based on what we learned from the early adopter group. We've got that group, by the way. They exist as now 250 companies around the world who've fessed up and said, I'd actually like to be in that group and help you shape the product. So thank you to those members of the Fast Funnel Club, as we called it. To whom? Sales and marketing leaders still, and practitioners. So we're dropping down a level and we're dropping the CEOs of the larger businesses. In B2B businesses of all sizes. So this could be a small business, but it could equally be a division of a super huge business, because sales and marketing planning is a very fragmented, very devolved function inside businesses. So big companies like AT&T would build thousands of go-to-market plans every year. So the teams, including practitioners, and it's now dropping necessarily the CEO, because CEOs don't tend to want to buy tools, they want to buy outcomes. Through whom? It's a self-serve, I'm going to say that in English, self-serve web-based SaaS platform, software as a service for those not in the know. So it's basically self-serve. So it's an online only, self-serve only web platform. Tactics. So after the first early adopters from our own network have been obtained, we're going to go inbound only. That is, we're not going outbound. So broadly, the tactics will include positioning through paid search ads and SEO. In other words, somebody's looking for planning or plan, they find us. Establish interest with a free, unlimited time version of the tool. So you can get a free version of the tool for as long as you want, and we'll position that as a simple templating tool. Build your go-to-market plan, answer all the right questions, there you go, it's free. Now we'll trouble those who take that tool about their lack of traction by ongoing nurture emails, and they'll feature benchmarks about how other companies are performing. Plus we'll give them product teasers, so whenever they log into the free version, they'll be able to do all the things that we promised, but they'll be able to see what more could look like. Won't be able to access it. That's meant to be a little frustrating. So the combination of emails about tactics that they should be trying, together with the ability to make those more granular changes, is how we'll trouble the buyers. We'll help them work out what they need, and we'll establish that need as data-driven guidance and deeper planning. And we'll do that again through the nurture emails. Our offer will be a weekly bundled machine learning guidance with no lock-in. What does that mean in English? We'll use our deep data from thousands of plans to help them make their plan better than the others using machine learning. No lock-in contract, the option of consulting, of course, and we'll gain preference by using testimonial videos once they've subscribed. So no lock-in, they can subscribe, and then how will they continue using it, if you like, through testimonial videos of others who've taken the advice that they've been given, applied the advice and got real traction and improvements in their sales and marketing engine. So there are other plans for Funnel Plan as a tool, but I'll let you get on with your day and leave it at those two examples of go-to-market strategy. I mentioned briefly Fast Funnel Club, and Fast Funnel Club is the name that we gave to those 250 companies who came on board as early adopters that we're going to work very closely with to reshape the product around what they think is needed in the market for them, and we'll use that to launch later this year. So Fast Funnel Club's closed. That was a particular group who jumped on board. We promoted as best we're able, and it's now closed. The new product, Funnel Plan, is not yet launched, at least depending on when you're watching this video. If you're watching when it's first released, then Funnel Plan is not released. But if you're watching it later, because a lot of our videos are watched on YouTube years later, we're planning to launch about April 2016. If you're watching it before April 2016, I can't offer you Funnel Plan right now, but if I've sort of piqued your interest, go to funnelplan.com, funnelplan.com. Here it is, go to funnelplan.com and put your name down, and the very least we can do is we'll let you know when it's out. So obviously it costs you nothing to put your name down. Put your name down there and we'll let you know as soon as it's released. And we'll be releasing, we think, around April. We've got to work through our early adopter group first. That's going to take a couple of months, and we promise that they have a 2-month window of access before the general market anyway, so we'll honour that. Get your name down there, funnelplan.com, and I hope you enjoy Funnel Plan. So that's it for this week. Next week's show's already lined up, and I'm really excited to bring it to you. Can't wait. Until then, may your funnel be full and always flow. Our thanks this week to Jackie Tran for her research, to Business Victoria, BJ1, Scott Jeffrey, Forbes, Sam Ash, and yours truly for the articles that we used in today's show, to Annika Dobby for her amazing production. Thank you, Annika. My name's Hugh McFarlane, and it's been my pleasure to research, script, and present this week's show.